Cowboy. Cowboy.
Hey folks, how are you? Well, if you've watched my how to raise chickens video, we're going to do part 2 today. This is about a year and a half, maybe 2 years later. So we're going to see how the chickens are doing. As you can see, we moved the entire chicken run. It used to be in the center of the yard, which was kind of dumb. I don't know why we did that, but we kind of moved it over side by side with the shed. And this is the really exciting part. We have a brand new chicken coop. We were using a dog house before, and this is a bona fide homemade chicken coop. And I'll tell you a little bit about it. We have some of the chickens have changed since you saw the video. I think we might have 3 of the same chickens that we had a year and a half ago. And we also have two new dogs since that last video was made. We had our Siberian Husky, this is Mackie, and our Basset Hound, this is Molly. Now Molly is cool with the chickens. Mackie is not though. He's too much wolf in him, man. He just wants to eat him. So if you're trying to raise chickens and you have dogs, be real careful, because some dogs are okay and some dogs aren't. So I think you might get a better unobstructed view if you came in here with me. I'm going to go over a few tips too that I maybe didn't mention on the first video I made. Can't emphasize this enough. Oh, you're not aiming at me? Okay. Cleaning your chicken coop. You got to keep it immaculate. And when you go inside your coop to clean, very important to wear a face mask, you know, like they give away in hospitals. And it's not just for the fumes. That's not really going to prevent the fumes. But when the chicken poop dries and it turns into like a powder of dust, and that stuff gets airborne, you don't want to breathe that in because it can cause bird flus and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, and I brought these pallets in here just so that there wouldn't be a tremendous amount of poop accumulating on the ground. And the pallets are pretty easy to clean. Let me show you some of the cleaning tools that I use. I have just sort of a regular scraper that you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's. I also got a big one for scraping up. This is really important for scraping up old dried up chicken poop. I got a little dustpan here and a brush. I use this thing a lot here. And here's another little scrubby brush for getting some of those really grimy areas. And so anyway, let me tell you about this chicken coop. It has 2 little secret compartments built into it. This one is where I pretty much keep all the cleaning supplies like I showed you. And over in this one is basically just gloves, because you always want to have gloves on hand, and just some grocery bags for putting poop or whatever it is you need to clean up. The middle part doesn't open. The middle part actually, why don't you let me borrow that just for a second so I can hold it way down here. This is how the chickens get in and out of the coop. It's like a sort of a little secret entrance. They walk up that little stairway and they go up into the coop. I'll show you inside the coop here in just a minute. A couple other things. We have these. We can actually probably take these out now. These are for the winter, just to keep the strong breezes out, so it kept the chickens from getting chilled. And we have these little windows built in. Heavy gauge wire on there, and we have a light in there. Usually try to keep like one light. It doesn't put out any heat really. It's just to kind of extend the chickens' laying times. So that's nice. Now I was real limited. This coop is not actually the best size. If I had one change I could make to this coop is I wish it was taller, because I can't stand up fully in there. I have to kind of hunch over to do the cleaning. I wish it was taller, but I wanted to keep it within the confines of this fence that it's in, and this mesh tarp that's on the top. It was basically the space that we had to work with. Also, you know, before we built the coop, we made sure that it was level. It has these base foundation cement blocks underneath there. Now the chickens love to just go underneath there and hang out and take dust baths. If you've never seen a chicken take a dust bath, we're not going to wait around for one to do it, but you can YouTube chickens taking dust baths. It's kind of neat, and they really need to do that. And then over here, we'll take a look inside the coop. This is the handle here to Open and close it. There's one down here too. I usually only use the top one. And we go. Now if you'll take a look in here, you'll see the chicken coop, the way it's set up on the inside. Try to keep it as clean as possible. That floor is like a some extra tile. What do they call this tile? Linoleum that you roll out and you can put on there. It's real easy to clean, real durable. It'll last for years. And you just scrub it. I have their feeder out here. I always buy pellets. It works better for me than crumbles. You might like crumbles, but they just make too much of a mess of the crumbles. And this is their calcium oyster shell. It has phosphate. What other things? You know, all the extra minerals and stuff that the chickens need helps keep their shells nice and hard. And then this is that little doorway that I showed you from the outside. See, they come up the steps and they can chicken around in here. They can go up on those perches. They like to hang in the perches. They really only come in here at night during the winter. They would rather be on the outside perch that's there, and then there's a little perch there. They like to be outside. They all huddle together. We have 8 of them right now, and they all huddle together on that one coop. You might get one rogue chicken that decides to sleep in here for the night. And I want to show you this shelf here. This is where they lay their eggs, and where we keep the straw and everything. There's a better view of it. Can you film that? Out here. Now we were going to make like individual little compartments for each hen to lay, but they don't really need it. They lay in 2 places. They lay usually in here or down in here. They make their own little nest. Always keep nice, fresh, clean straw in here for them. And also, we'd like to eventually get a thing where we don't have to hold this up. So every time I go and collect eggs, I have to hold this up. And also, this is something you might want to consider having too. Sometimes when a chicken is laying on the eggs, she gets, what do they call it when they're brooding? Or yeah, and they don't want to get up, or they get real defensive and they don't want you taking their eggs. Now, of course, the eggs are not fertilized. There's no baby chicken in them or anything. So I sometimes have to use this stick just to kind of nudge the chicken away from the eggs, because they will become very aggressive and peck you very hard, which they don't usually do. But this stick is just good for sort of nudging them away, getting them off the eggs so you don't get bit or anything like that. But for the most part, the chickens are wonderful. Always extremely important to have fresh, clean water. This is a really neat idea. The chickens were landing up here all the time. They'd perch up here and they'd poop, and it would run down the sides and contaminate the water. So I got this idea. It's really simple. I just got a wire coat hanger and twisted it, and I kind of fixed it in there. So now this is up on top, and they never land on here anymore. You can see there's no poop or anything on here. I always also have a backup water. You can just get a cinder block or something set on it, something they can't jump up on, and they can access that. It's outside the run, but they can drink from it, and it stays clean, and it's a backup emergency water in case this one runs out. But you should never run out of water for your chickens. And about half the chickens we have out here, there's 8 of them, are tame enough for me to let outside of here. I can let them just walk around the whole yard. I don't want to do that now because the dogs are out and it'll just be a mess. But this one here is sort of the alpha chicken out here. This is Big Mama, we call her. That's her sort of nickname. We've had her for quite a while, and she's also the biggest, heaviest chicken. She's one of the ones that's tame enough for me to pick up. And if you're lucky enough to have some of your chickens that you can pick up and hold, do it frequently, because it just keeps them tame. It makes them easy to handle, and I swear, it's really easy to keep an eye on them when they're out in the yard. You just kind of watch them. If they wander off, that's the dogs. I don't know if you want to get them. They're wrestling over there. They're sort of competing with my voice, but this one, let's see, these 2 chickens here. Yeah, they're watching the dogs wrestle. It's like a UFC match over there. Randy Couture versus Anderson Silva. Anyway, these are 2 of the original hens that we had here. And these guys survived. They're a little light. Their egg laying days are numbered. I don't even think they're laying anymore, really. You can tell by their feet. When their feet start to lose color, not bright, vibrant yellow, then their egg laying days are just about done. Chickens are good for about 2 years of laying, and then you want to think about replacing them. We do eat these chickens when they're done laying eggs. We haven't done that in a while, but I butcher them myself. And you've probably seen, I have several other videos online of me butchering the chickens and eating them. That's a whole process unto itself. Let's see, what else can I tell you about raising chickens? Well, watch part 1. I apologize for all the jet noise in the background. We have construction going on now. It's all that beeping you hear in the background. It's just always seems to be something. But they only do those flyovers once in a while. It's very rare. I just happened to just decide to film that day with a lot of airplanes flying over. But they like to perch, as you can see. Give them perches. And we have unseasonably warm weather. It's still March, and it's like in the 70s, which is usually doesn't start getting warm that early. What do you say there, buddy? Chickens are real nice. They're real friendly, social animals. They love people. Some of them are not as tame as others. Some of them are very hard to catch. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it. I'm really just proud of the new chicken coop that me and my dad built. Lot of work. Took a while, finished this in steps over a couple of months. Actually, we built the frame first, just basically enough to keep them contained, and then we added some of the other things. But that's it. That's our chicken coop. I want to just film around 360, film around the entire coop outside. Okay.
Put those in the cubby holes.
Yeah. Okay, so just one final, I just want to kind of show off the workmanship here. Let's see, we zoomed out all the way. Okay. So this is the chicken coop. Give you a 360-degree view of the whole thing here, so you can see how it's built. Like I said, that door is small. You got to be kind of a midget to get in there, but we had to work with what space we had. And we put a tarp back here just to give the chickens a little privacy. They don't want to be freaked out by the neighborhood dogs or whatever else they might see. Now, one thing, chickens are bad, especially when they start taking their dust baths, is they dig up the ground. As you can see, they did all that. It looks like a dog was digging in there, but the chickens actually did that. So I got to go in and fill in those holes. Always have fresh straw for your chicken. This is an old laying box that we had. There's not really room in there for this now. We might figure out a way to incorporate that in there later. But whenever you're doing anything, you want to add something new to your chicken coop, just keep in mind the chickens will poop on it. They poop on everything. So just be prepared to clean. The angle on this door right here, see how it's sloped like that, is specifically designed so they don't land on it and poop. They cannot land on there. They'll just slide right off. So be careful, do your research, make sure you measure twice, cut once, that whole thing. So this is the updated chicken coop, March 2012. If you have any questions or comments, just feel free to post them down in the comment box there. Just keep them positive. All right, thank you.
Baby, when I think about you, I think about love. And darling, I don't live without you and your love.